let me show you the one thing which I believe will let you develop accurate perspective angles in your drawing more than any other thing that you could do. And it will take just seconds with each drawing. And at the end of the video, I'll show you something else you can do which will multiply the benefit of this first thing. And it will only take you minutes to do. Once you finish your drawing, place it side by side with your reference so that they line up. But even if you haven't drawn them the same size, that won't affect what we're going to do. It's best if you can tape them down so they're not going to move. I use this low adhesive tape that I just buy cheaply from our local hardware chain store. And you can do this with a ruler, you can do it with a pen, but I like to do it with a strip of cardboard because it's really easy to maneuver, it's very accurate to use, and it doesn't hide any more of the reference or the drawing than is necessary. And then I do this. I get an angle in my reference and I slide the strip along to my drawing to see, is the angle the same? Let's take this angle at the top of the windows, and there it is there. Let's take the bottom of the windows. Well, that's a little more successful for me. Let's take the windows and doors. Yep, that's pretty good. We have an angle going this way, down the base, and that's not too bad. And let's take this footpath. And that looks okay. Because I want the angles to be the same, I shouldn't have to change the position. I shouldn't have to do this. Oop. There shouldn't be any adjustment. And this lets me see easily and clearly, am I accurate in what I've drawn with what I was drawing from? And it just takes seconds. There are 4 distinct and each very valuable benefits to doing this. And don't forget at the end, there's that one multiplier, which I'll show you how to do. But first, please hit that like button for me. And I do have perspective playlists to suit every stage of drawing if you're interested. And the first benefit of doing this is that it sharpens my observation skills. It lets me see which angles I'm being accurate with and which angles I'm not being accurate with. And we'll probably find that it's the higher angles that we are less accurate with. This lets me see how well I transfer what I see into what I draw. If I consistently underdraw the top angles, if I consistently draw angles that look like this, then I can start to see how I need to adjust what I do on the paper. But we can't even start to understand if our observation is accurate or not until we get some objective way of seeing, is it accurate? We obviously do our best, but sometimes our best needs a bit of help, a bit of support, a bit of guidance so that we can make our best better. The second thing doing this helps me see is it helps me to appreciate the fan pattern. So in perspective theory, if we start at eye level, if we start at where the eyes of the person who is looking at this were, we get a straight line. And as we go above eye level, the angle of all the horizontal lines steadily increases in a fan shape. This angle is not the same as this angle. There is all of this difference between the two, because as we go higher above where eye level or camera level is, the angle increases. And this fan pattern is incredibly important to understand because it helps me anticipate what's happening in my reference. And the more easily I can understand what to expect to see, the more easily and accurately I can see it. And that has to be a head start in then drawing it accurately. It also means in my drawing, I'm also aware that for every horizontal line in my drawing, the angle has to be increasing. And sometimes that means if I get my angle a little too steep down here, I need to make sure that I still make it a little bit steeper each time it goes higher above eye level. Even if that means that all of these angles now are a little bit out, it will capture the perspective more accurately. It will look more accurate. Remember, no one's going to be comparing it to the photo when they're looking at my drawing. Now, to gain this next benefit, it may feel like it's at a great cost, but please at least give this a go, because what's really helpful to do is, and I'll just need to change my drawing, is as we see the problem between the angle we should have and what we do have, it's really helpful to correct our drawing. Correct it over the top of our drawing. Something that looks like that. Because what this does is it lets me see what this looks like when it is transferred accurately from observation of a reference to ink on the paper that I've drawn there. It lets me see, okay, gosh, look at this difference. This is how it would look. And now I get to look back and forth at these two. And one thing I always do is I always check what I've done. We can slide back and forth. And that lets me see, no, I actually didn't get it right this time. And so I do this. I go back and forth until I get something which is as accurate as I can with this slide in. Early on, I would go back and forth multiple times. And it can be helpful at the very start when we're actually drawing to use our pen to help us get a sense of what the angle should be. I would often estimate with a dot and then compare where that dot will take the line and then check it that way before I do it. Most of the time though now I just observe and estimate, but this dot, this positioning dot on the angle and checking with the pen was a good half measure to take while I was developing my direct observation drawing skills further. This is so hard because we think, but we're going to spoil our artwork. And it does highlight another problem we may have. We're thinking we're producing artworks when we should be thinking, I'm learning to draw. And these aren't artworks I'm producing, they are learning exercises. What I want to do is to learn as quickly as possible. And that means getting the most benefit out of every exercise I do. Not doing this is like finding out that your maths problems were wrong, but not being able to see why. In a moment, I'll show you the multiplier. But the fourth benefit is that this actually starts me on the process of critiquing my drawing. I just talked about how everything we draw when we're learning to draw is a learning exercise. And this isn't the only thing we need to learn. There's a whole lot more to producing the sorts of drawings we want to produce than simply accurate perspective. So this gets me now freed from being precious about having a finished, perfect artwork. This gets me thinking analytically about what have I done on the paper and what could I do? How can I improve what I've done? What other possibilities for finding marks are there that I haven't used? It lets me move from drawing this sort of drawing to this sort of drawing, because there is a whole lot more that's happening here that's better than in this drawing than merely accurate perspective angles. And if I think there's problems with something I've drawn but I can't work out what, then that's a good time to start looking at people who draw similar things in a style I would like to move my drawing style closer towards, and looking carefully to see, well, how do they do it? What have they done? What's the difference between what they've done and what I've done? And it's not that I copy what they've done, but by analysing it, I start to incorporate it into my thinking. So critiquing overall our whole drawing, tremendously vital thing. Otherwise, we can simply keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again. And here's the multiplier. Instead of doing a more finished drawing, we instead draw something that for this drawing looks more like this. The barest outline Because we don't always have to produce a whole drawing to work on our drawing skills. We can focus on one skill. And if we're wanting to focus on our perspective angles, this lets me see how accurately is my eyeballing of these angles. So this took me a couple of minutes to draw. Now it's important that we don't rush it, that we spend the same time drawing this. Now it's important that we don't rush this. We need to draw these lines as accurately as we can with observing the angles. But it lets us just do the bare bones of what we need to do to work on our perspective angles. And now, if the angles aren't correct, well, that one's not too bad. Let's find one that's a bit more. Okay, this one. It's certainly easier for us to make these corrections to help us see how it looks when we translate our observation into ink on the paper. You could do 10 or 12 of these in the same time it takes to do one of these, and learning our perspective observation skills 10 or 12 times faster without the frustrations of drawings that don't look quite right. Then, when we put all that time into a more detailed drawing, it's not being pulled back by fundamentally wrong perspective angles. G'day, I'm Stephen Travers. Please hit the like button if you haven't already, and why not give this exercise a go? Why not incorporate this checking technique into part of your drawing process, at least for a while? But in the end, whatever you draw, however you do it, however it turns out, make sure you have fun. But personally, I have more fun if my drawing turns out. I'll see you next time. Bye.